Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH. Plus, I feel like we're in a groove on these challenges now. All we have left from our first pass is the Purist. If we beat the Purist in this video, which is not necessarily guaranteed, it's kind of a tough challenge. AT7W, what's up? And I said, hey, what's up? It doesn't really work at all, so to speak. Hey, thank you for that. I forget the parameters of the Purist challenge, but I'm pretty sure it's just a challenge with no item rooms. You also may not get any boss items, but I mean, honestly, a challenge with no item rooms is not necessarily all that tough. You know what we call that? Functionally equivalent to the balance of the game post Booster Pack 4. Oh, how do you do, my fellow nerds? Give me a moment here. Basically, I mean, if I remember the parameters of the Purist challenge most closely, I suppose, we really want to manufacture deals with the devil whenever possible. You know, a deal with the devil basically could be worth 8 item rooms, or 6 item rooms, I guess. You know, 1 brimstone, 1 mom's knife, and to a lesser extent, a few other items that are, you know, available in there. They could be worth, like, all the items that you get in the game combined. And they're not even that rare. So there's a very genuine chance we can make something happen here. You definitely should not, well, I mean, do what I just did there, of course, but also you definitely should not grab the Spirit Heart before grabbing a pill. Because if the pill is bad trip, you just lose the Spirit Heart, and again, deals with the devil are so important. But anyway, what if we finish this one? All we're missing from our first pass on the first 20 challenges is Head Trauma and Suicide King, right? Both of which are admittedly highly annoying. Ayy. And actually, we're almost in shop territory here. And you know, this is a little bit of a min-max play, and I shouldn't be allergic to min-maxing. I should respect min-maxing. I should, you know, especially on challenges, it seems very relevant, but hey, never mind. I was going to say on our first floor, we're not going to get the 15 cents, but there you go. We should try to get into our secret room here. See what we manage to pull. Justice card, very useful. Might be able to use this to supplement into a blood bank on the next floor. I will take the map, and we will get the heck out of town. Maybe not quite going to get the 5 cents, but still. The map by itself is pretty good. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. We did well on the first 20 challenges. It sucked at the start. We were losing more than I would have liked. But then, you know, on the back half, we just kind of crunched them down. Mind you, the ones on the back half are also substantially easier. I mean, like, computer savvy is basically... The challenge in computer savvy is talk for 20 minutes. And if you can do that, that challenge is well and truly sorted for you. This one. Renowned is one of the tougher challenges from the first little stack there. We'll head down. Feeling okay. I've said it many times in the past as well, but, you know, when you have a run that goes to Mom's Heart, you really can get there with a couple of weak items. Brimstone, not relatively weak items, I guess, but Little Brimstone can take you to a Mom's Heart victory. By itself, assuming you have enough HP to supplement it. You know, a normal amount of HP plus Little Brim plus a little bit of elbow grease and the know-how can lead you to a new land. Okay. Why do I step on the button? I can't help myself. I need to get some Harvard neurologist to take a look at the old noggin and see what kind of, you know, reward centers and portions of my brain light up when I see that button. I mean, that button could be anything. I could get a penny for the low cost of fighting 6 champions in a tiny room with a bunch of fires on the ground. Anyway, we did get, I mean, we got Bookworm, which is valuable in and of itself, but the more valuable item for certain is Book of Shadows. So if we get any kind of orbital, we're well on our way, and I don't know what I was worried about. I think the Purist is just sort of stuck in my brain as like, you know, maybe I had problems with this on our first save file back in... Jeez, I was checking my mental calendar there. 2014? Sounds right. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm very good at video games now. It's one of the things that people comment the most. They go, NL, you're so good at video games. It's true, but I didn't always have the same kind of acumen that you managed to see in front of you today. You know, it took a lot of practice to get there. It took a lot of dedication, a lot of focus, and a lot of mindfully trying to improve myself while I play these games. And the thing that was really hard about it is that nobody ever let me know. Everyone was always too polite. They were like, no, you're so good at video games. Why would you even bother trying to get better at them now? Save some for the rest of us. The joke is that everything I said is the opposite. By the way, again, a little bit of clairvoyance on display here. We get Little Brimstone. Not to mention Magic Mush, both of which, you know, insanely great. Little Brim, I was talking about. I was saying this can carry you to Mom's heart basically by itself. The great news is that it does not have to carry us by itself, because we also have invincibility. We also have Magic Mush, letting us do, you know, 6 damage per shot. We probably should not do what I'm about to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Well, we definitely will not take that. It's a little cocky. By the way, I'd like to, in light of, you know, everybody's hair trigger when it comes to double entendres in the year 2018. Oh, this challenge is hard. That's what she said. Boy, I sure hope I can get off. That's what she said. Okay, you're right. Alright, that is what she said. Who is she? I don't know. Probably my mother, based on the random internet parlance of the day. However, we need to change some words, okay? I'm sorry to tell you that in 2018 we shouldn't say cocky anymore, because it just makes things too easy for those of you out there looking for double entendres. Ooh, dude, let's go absolutely buck wild. Who's scared of a Purist challenge? Not me. This is not me saying people are too sensitive. Is me saying that, you know, everybody's always looking for the easy joke and, you know, a quick punchline and a laugh and a little dopamine release and alleviate the, you know, tedious nature of this mortal coil in some certain circumstances. We'll absolutely grab that. If I can afford Spider Mod, I might consider it. But, we can't say cocky anymore. Instead, we have to say braggadocious. Because braggadocious, it's such a dry and stuffy word, it doesn't leave any opportunities for the world's cheapest puns. Let's try. Everything about that was okay. We got a range downgrade. Doesn't matter very much. I forgot what I was being braggadocious about in the first place. It's my first Isaac episode of the day. It takes a little while for the old noggin to warm up. And, you know, just in the same way I've got to warm up my own skills when I play the game. You know, it's like even a sports car. It doesn't go 0 to 60, you know, like this. I had to stall there. I forgot how to snap. Coffee's hitting the bloodstream a little slow today. I was doing some weird stuff with my hand, trying to get my fingers to work the way I wanted them to. There we go. I have to, you know, I have deep-seated feelings of inadequacy about snapping. I feel like there's 3 things that you're supposed to learn how to do when you're a child. And I didn't necessarily knock all 3 out of the park. I know you're going to be like, what, learn to read, learn to write, learn to do arithmetic. No, 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 those are all under control. It's like I can interpret words well, but my eyes are bad. Does that make me a good reader? I don't know. I can convey my ideas effectively, but my penmanship is bad. Does that make me a good writer? I don't know. And we don't necessarily need to speak about the arithmetic. Complex mathematical ideals or ideas are foreign to me. However, I can add 2 numbers together in my head with some reliability. So, you know what? Give me the card as well. I want to see. Oh, rolling, rolling, rolling. No, the 3 things I'm going to talk about. And I think it's actually 4, maybe 5 things, okay? I know there's probably many, many, many more. But let's go through the 5 things I'm going to bring up. First one, when you're a kid, you should learn how to ride a bike. I'm not going to say that you're not, like, you've had a missed childhood or something if you haven't done these. But I think that's one of the things that, you know, if you get to be an adult and you're like, I don't know how to ride a bike, people are going to be like, oh, that's surprising. Not like a condemnation or anything like that. just a little surprising that you could reach, 25 years old and not know how to ride a bicycle. I learned how to ride a bicycle when I was 12, a little bit of a late bloomer there, especially because I grew up in the country where, basically where I grew up in the 1990s and early 2000s, it was like growing up in like, Savannah, Georgia in like the 1950s. It was Leave It to Beaver. Anyway, everyone's riding their bikes around at all opportunities. That's what I'm trying to get at there. Who knows, by randomly picking an American city in the 1950s, I might have accidentally put some implications in that. It wasn't my intention. I just, when it comes to picking a city, it all comes down to, like, the cadence. And I gotta say, Savannah, Georgia, it just sounds nice. It's a 3-syllable, 2-syllable. It's got a certain cellar door quality when you say it. But anyway. Learned to ride a bike when I was 12, late bloomer. As a kid, you should learn how to swim. It's fun, but also, I'm not going to say it's likely to save your life, but, it's the kind of thing, it's both a survival skill that could be important, but also simultaneously a nice, you get to go in a swimming pool. Who doesn't like that? I learned how to swim when I was like 10. A little bit of a late bloomer, but, not too many standard deviations out. Next one, whistle. A lot of adults make it to their age without being able to whistle. I learned how to whistle when I was like 6. I was way ahead of the curve on that one. It doesn't sound good when you whistle into a microphone, but I had to do it to demonstrate. Because I know there's some people out there who are like, yeah, prove it. This guy's trying to get all the credit for saying he knows how to whistle without actually having to prove it. Now, I have not learned... I think this is one of those things you have to learn by the time you're 50. I haven't learned how to do the 2 fingers in the mouth whistle. The really, really loud one that you use to get someone's attention if you're 100 years old. Or at a sporting event, you could do that instead of yelling woo and, ruining your vocal cords for 24 hours. I gotta learn that one. I gotta put in the time. Maybe on my next day off, I'll spend hours and hours trying to make that one happen. It seems like a productive use of my time. You gotta learn how to blow a bubble with bubble gum. I can also do that. I can't really demonstrate it for you, but, it's a learned skill. That's a weird one. That's definitely, like, the fringe ability, because as an adult, I don't know. When you're a kid, you chew bubble gum that blows bubbles. As an adult, I don't think you blow bubbles too much. Especially as a man, once you start to get some facial hair, you can't afford to have the bubble, like, blow up in your face, Well, we'll take... I actually think Perthrow is probably better, just because we're not going to go to the chest anyway. We literally, like, can't go to the chest. You'll be picking double bubble, hubba. What the heck is the... They all got some kind of ub in their name, Everybody is looking for the ub in this life. Can't be pulling that out of your stubble. Let me see what we got here. Stubble? Hubble stubble? See, there's like a joke in there somewhere. Northernlion from like 4 p.m. today when I'm a little bit warmed up commentarily, a little bit better at finding that wordplay there. Either way, you gotta learn how to blow a bubble when you're a kid. That's not something you would prioritize as an adult. And the last one is you learn how to snap. I'm a 4 out of 10 snapper. I can snap, but I don't do like a really loud snap I can't do. And I don't, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's physiological or something, but most people, I believe, they snap by using their thumb and their middle finger. I use my thumb and my ring finger. And that might be part of the problem, but when I snap with my middle finger, it just makes no noise whatsoever, and my hand does like this... It has to bend in such a weird way, which now that I think about it is probably how, like, the torque is generated, but... Anyway, those are the 5 things. Grade yourself and have your self-evaluation on my desk. Don't actually put anything on my desk. I will not read it. It will sit here for months. Until I get one of those random bursts of energy where I want to clean a lot. And then I'll throw everything out and just start over from 0. You guys ever get that? I've been like, my principal, like, domestic growth as an adult has come in the realm of cleanliness. Let me see what we got here. I don't even care if it's wait what. Like, I was never a horrifically messy person. I was never a hoarder. I never left, like, food waste sitting in my room for you know, days at a time. I did what every college student does, except for the ones who are really on the ball. And I would, you know, like make a pan or a skillet of scrambled eggs. And then you're like, I don't really want to clean this up. So you put it in the sink with some water in it, and then like 2 days later, people come by and they're like, why do you have a pan full of eggs in the sink? And you're like, they're soaking! They don't need to soak for 48 or 72 hours. They need to soak for like, you know, 10 minutes at most, and then you clean it. But anyway. Ooh, a bone heart. Thank you. Ooh, I don't know what our HP is like, though. Well, it does not matter, because we can respawn as Dark Judas. Who cares? And the pact, I mean, of course, it gives us HP as well. No thank you. I don't know if we've had Dunce Cap on this save file, but it doesn't work in this one. Challenges are disabled, and progress is disabled anyway. A little stretch because we're crushing it so far. Very easy run right now. I've become much better about it as I've gotten older. And part of that, admittedly, is because... And this is why sometimes on the show, I feel the need to go to bat for, you know, responsibility. And some people, and I'm not just referring to my co-hosts, I mean some people in general, especially, you know, in Twitch chat where maybe the demographic trend's a little younger. Not to be offensive to anybody, but they're afraid of responsibility. They're like life should be 100% fun at all times, and anything that could be constituted as a chore, you know, is a compromise for me to willfully take on. It means that I'm like abandoning my childhood or something like that. I very much disagree with that. You know, responsibility is a part of growing older, and you know, to be honest, doing the dishes is not really that much of a responsibility in the whole scheme of things. Anyway, it's like a 10-minute job. Maybe 10 minutes a day, probably less, depending on, you know, what kind of foods you eat and how many... You know, if you're preparing like a new dinner every night, it might be a little bit more, but you get the idea. One of the things that's come to surprise me is that, like, you know, the more I have cleaned, the more I find cleaning, like... I don't want to say addictive, because that's like the lamest thing you could ever say. Like, ooh, watch out. You get the psychological dependency on cleanliness, which now that I think about it, is not something to mock. But, no, trust me, we're not in danger of that. If you saw my desk, you would agree. But, you know, now it's like, on Saturdays I'm doing this meal prep. You know, so I'll make like a big pot of something, or several servings of some kind of entree, or, you know, lunches throughout the week, I should say. And then after I'm done, you know, I've just been working for like, you know, 45 to 90 minutes. The first thing I think is like, man, this kitchen is dirty now. So I'll like, you know, do all the dishes. And then after I do the dishes, I'm like, oh, I spilled some stuff on the stove. So I'll like pull the, you know, like the range cover off the stove. The metal part that goes over the burners, and then I'll, you know, scrub the stove down, and then after I've done that, I'm like, oh, and then there's like some junk on the floor, and I'll start to sweep. It's like, once you've done like 25% cleaning, you look at the other 75% and you go, oh, it's a little dirty here. So in order for your first 25% cleaning to be worth anything, you kind of got to do the rest. I'm starting to learn, and this is why. It's about this point in any Isaac episode where I go, why does anybody watch this? Dude's just talking about cleaning his kitchen, but no. We don't need any of those. We already got the efficacy. Oh, dude, Baby Bender Little Brim is so cool. But I'm telling you not to glorify myself, but rather to say, if you're one of those people, you know, I grew up as an only child, and essentially my parents did most of my chores for me. Like, I cleaned my own room, but it was never like, you know, hey, go, you know, vacuum the whole house. You know, it wasn't like that. I lived a life that was basically free of doing chores until I was in university, and then in university I, you know, had other stuff to do. School, social obligations I created for myself. You get the idea, right? So, I'm telling you, there's hope. You'll get there one day. You might need the pressure, and I'm also telling you it's a good thing. You know, there's a certain, you know, a pride you take in maintaining, you know, the cleanliness and integrity of your own environment. And it's going to sound like this is specifically a shot on Hafu. It's not. If you want to hire a professional to clean your house once every 2 weeks or something like that, why not? You know, I understand. There's a certain opportunity cost value in you not cleaning your own place. But I take a little bit of pride. Well, maybe pride's not the right word. I feel good doing it, I guess is what I should say. And maybe one day you will as well. Or maybe not, I don't know. My parents, they have like one of those housekeeping services that comes around. I don't know if they use it anymore, because they used to live, they did what I think a lot of people in their generation did, where, you know, they raised me, and then when I moved out, they're like, we have more money now, because we don't have a dependent living with us. So they kind of like, you know, they built their dream house, and it was not like a sprawling mansion or anything like that, but it was like real big. And then they lived in it for like 2 years, and they were like, yo, there's only 2 of us. Like, why do we need 4 bedrooms? That's absurd. And it's just like, it's a lot of work to clean this place when nobody's even going into these rooms. So then they sold it, and now they live in like an apartment. And it's way better. It's so much smaller. But simultaneously, it's also like, you know, they don't need that much space. So, but yeah, they used to have a housekeeping service, and I always like, I felt like for them, it was like the worst of both worlds. Because they used to have to clean before the housekeeper arrived. In order to make the, in order to not have the housekeeper judge them for the house being even the slightest bit dirty. And I was like, at that point, what do you even, I don't even understand why you would have a housekeeper if you gotta clean just before they arrive. It doesn't, anyway. And it wasn't even dirty, it's just, you get the idea. That's gonna do it for challenges. A little bit of a shorter episode today. I think we'll go back and do some greedier episodes after this as a result of the fact that, you know, we got our first 20 challenges sort of done, and I kind of feel like breaking up the monotony with something a little different. Oh, Glass Cannon just got unlocked, that's right. So we got Head Trauma, Suicide King, Glass Cannon, but, you know, we'll be moving on to these ones next after a little bit of greedier play. I mean, we're like less than, or maybe like just over halfway through the challenges right now. I guess we got 17 out of 35 done, so just slightly under halfway. But hey, it's been fun. So these get a little bit more interesting. I don't remember XX, I think this is just Curse of the Labyrinth on every floor. Beat the whole run in 20 minutes, if I remember correctly. All the bomb synergies, including Bomber Boy, which is dangerous. Don't remember. Yeah, you spend a coin to go into every room or something? Don't remember. Don't remember. Bob's Brains, you get 2 of them, I think. Don't remember. Something to do with Rainbow Baby. You miss a shot, you take damage. Don't remember. Don't remember. Don't remember. Don't, wait, it's gotta be Pokemon Go, right? This is a one shot that ping pongs off the walls, and then Ultra Hard is just like, you get no consumable drops, if I remember correctly, or no heart drops, anyway. Anyway, that's just setting the stage for you, and also filling out another 60 seconds of video time. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!